Hey everyone, welcome back to the Wingfeather podcast. I'm your host, Chris Wall. So glad to have you, and we're going to continue our journey through the amazing artists and staff who helped make this animated series a reality. And I'm so excited to welcome our next guest. This is Ellie. She had the pleasure of joining us near the end of season 1, and I mean, it's been a long journey. We've been through a lot together, so look forward to this conversation. But let's welcome Ellie. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm so good. I'm so glad to have you. This is going to be a fun
Yeah,
fun
I'm excited.
chat.
I've never done something like this before, so
let's start with what you do. What's your title? What do you do with Wingfeather Saga?
Yeah, so I am currently the CG lead on the team. There was a UE somewhere in that job title that I've since sort of not spoken about.
Because Unreal Engine.
Unreal Engine gets a little confusing. So we're going to just stick with CG lead, computer graphic lead.
Yeah,
So
that's not the full title. Give me the good one.
the CG/UE lead. Maybe we can put more. Esquire Captain, fifth of her name.
Yes, all of it.
Yeah.
This has been a thing with Ellie that we've talked about, the length of title that we could continue to develop.
Yeah, I just think at a small studio, it's really important to think about interesting job titles. You know, we're not a big corporate industry, so I think maybe we could be a little more specific. And because we're doing a lot of stuff with pirates and ships, I think Captain would be cool. Just saying.
Captain's good.
Yeah.
Also feels like we're a team of some sort that we're going to go compete.
We are a team.
Mm-hmm. We are. Compete, fight, win.
We could get a rowing team.
You had a really interesting journey coming into because you were at Lipscomb, a wonderful university here in Nashville, Tennessee, where a lot of our staff have come from. And you were in our UE Unreal class, correct?
Yeah, I was.
So this is really fun. So we had this idea that we wanted to have more artists available to us that understood Unreal Engine, that could go to work with us, but they were not learning it. And so we said, well, what if we did a class at Lipscomb and told the people, hey, if you're good at this, we're going to hire you.
Yeah.
And so we designed a class that was useful for Unreal Engine, for cinematics. People could use it elsewhere. It wasn't like entirely selfish. It was, useful for, I think, a lot of places people could go. But in your case, you were a star student.
Thank you.
Under Mike, and here you are.
Yeah, here I am. That class was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
To say, because we hadn't done anything like that before. So going in and not having like quite a game plan because it's animated studio, you weren't handing us like full assets or anything. Right. So it had very limited amount of stuff to be like, learn how to make the show, but don't actually use the pieces from the show. So also just with all of our tech that Keith's developed since, I feel like that class was like super, all right, I found a roll of duct tape. It works. This is my thing. I made it. Okay, hopefully this is good enough.
That's awesome.
I definitely learned a lot during that class.
And so you were an animation major. That was your focus. You have always focused, so your title notwithstanding, you have a lot of skills. And I think one of the things we talked about early on is that we really wanted to hire people like yourself who could do lots of different things.
Yeah.
That in the larger studios, when I was at DreamWorks, you're a cog in a large machine. You need to do one thing really well your whole career. So someone may be an expert rigger, right? Oh, but I can paint. Don't care. Need you to rig, right? In our little studio, instead, it's what else do you do, right? Oh, you can rig, and you can sculpt, and you can topo, and you can, right? That actually adds a ton of value because it means we can keep you around for different phases of production as it moves through, which you've successfully done. So
yeah.
Is there a favorite of all the skill sets that you get to use?
Yeah, I think the most glamorous thing has probably been the character sculpting, just because it's like, oh, super cool character, cool costuming, making them, they get to be on screen a ton of time versus like sometimes they do props, sometimes they do other things. But I like the realm of the characters and the textures around the characters because painting is always fun, and getting to paint characters is even cooler than painting like a little mug that shows up once, every season or so.
Sure.
So.
Yeah. No, that's fair. How do you feel about building like towns and cities? Is that one of your favorite things?
Maybe not. We're currently working on a procedural set, Van Rona, which has been a lot of trial and error, and there's some good stuff in there. Like, we knew the game plan going in. We know what we have to accomplish to do it. But it's also just a ton of work to make sure that we have all these buildings built
And
out.
you worked on Dugtown as well, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did that back in the olden days.
Yeah, we built it differently.
Very differently. Yeah, I think almost Dugtown would have been easier than Banrona to do this way, because the biggest challenge we've been facing has actually just been all those hills, trying to get buildings to be on curved surfaces, but also make sure that there's steps and stairs that work with the ground level, so that people aren't just getting their house on the random door on the third story, not a good entrance.
Dugtown, it was much flatter. So that and kind of more Dickensian London in that regard. For our fans out here who aren't familiar with animation, how would you describe your job?
Yeah. So character sculpting is very similar to building something out of clay. It's just on the computer. That the whole real world, the computer thing, I don't know how to explain that to you, but essentially I get a bunch of clay and model up the character, put the little eyes on it, put the ears on it, make the form of it, and then it goes through a process on the computer called topology, which is a fun little thing. But we basically just prep it so that we can then animate it.
Yeah, so my understanding of that is you have to then take that nice clay thing and apply bits of data, right? So you apply like a mesh or a
geometry
to that side that defines its shape and how it might move, right?
Yeah.
And then we get into weighting, right, of how it might move, things like that. And then there's bones that have to go inside of it, some sort of rig, which has to be applied. Yeah,
and in sort of claymation, which is like the real world practical, they build the skeleton and then they put all the clay on top of it. CG is a little bit different, where you build the clay and then you put the skeleton inside.
Yeah, we figure out where we want the bones.
Yeah,
right. We say, actually, let's put that joint in that clay thing, which, because it's a computer, we can do that. Like in real world, you couldn't push it through the clay.
You have to like cut it in half and then try to. Yeah.
Cool. Well, there it is. That's exactly what you do.
Yeah. And then we get to texture, which is kind of what it sounds like, where you just get to, you see the model, the whole form 3-dimensionally, and you can just paint on it on the computer.
And I've seen you and others do this, but you can take their texture, costume, otherwise, and it's very much like those people that, if you're a seamstress, you know this, you pull it out and it looks like a fabric pattern, and all the pieces unwrapped, and which includes their skin. It's kind of
it's a little creepy sometimes.
But you then go and paint on that, and then it reapplies it to the 3-dimensional thing, and then you peel it back off, and it's flat again, and kind of work it back and forth.
Yeah. So that's how you prep it for texture, is you just make the sewing pattern. And then it's like choosing your fabric is the sort of the texture paint, quote unquote.
Does this apply to your real world? I happen to know that you're a crafty person.
I am a crafty person.
Not a character assassination here, just saying that you're good with crafts.
I do love crafts.
Does that translate? Does your work, obviously you're a fantastic baker as well.
Thank you.
Does your discipline with those kind of ingredients and fabric, does that apply to CG?
I think it kind of does. I think the part of my job I haven't talked about yet is a lot of the technical side of things. So I do a lot of programming here and there, trying to build tools, make sure we have processes that work, trying to solve weird things. And the best thing that translates from that is like doing crafts, right? If you're doing a craft, you have your sort of end goal of, I want to make this thing. And then you have to figure out, how do I get to that, right? I need to figure out, what equipment do I need? What materials do I need? Like, how do I get there? And so I think that crafting, like problem solving, really actually plays into a lot of the problem solving we have to do in the show, where it is, okay, this is weird. We've never done something like this before. We got to figure out how to put feathers on these birds. We have to build a system and know how to make actionable goals to get there.
Now, what would you say your personal relationship is with math? Are you friendly to math?
I'm very friendly to math, unlike many people in the studio.
Me.
Yeah.
Yep, don't like math. Bad with math.
No, I love it.
Which is funny because you know all my car stuff. Like I love
you
working
love
on
cars.
Cars and stuff. That doesn't involve a ton of math. I actually had last weekend, I had a panic moment in that I had to build a ramp for my shed in our backyard. The old one had rotted away. I discarded it before I measured it closely. That was a bad idea. And so I've got 2x4s out there, and the word tangent comes up. And I actually broke out in a cold sweat. I was like, oh no, math. I'm so bad with that. Like, I'm paralyzed. And I'm thinking of people like you who are like, oh, no, it's really easy.
I love math. Yeah. I actually minored in math. I did computer science for a bit too.
So that helps you on the programming side.
It definitely does, yeah. I think I learned from the beginning classes in college. I got probably to like junior year level computer science just to learn it. All of the scripting that I learned during that was definitely great to translate into what I do now at Wingfeather with scripting. So
it's like learning a little language. I've heard from people like I could
Mhm.
learn Spanish. People learn computer language basically.
Yeah.
And can do
Yeah.
that.
And once you learn sort of one of the languages, it's really easy to translate to the other ones, depending on the format, right?
That's what they say about Spanish too.
Yeah. If you learn Spanish, you know how it's formatted, right? You know the weird.
You know what language I learned?
Oh,
Because I'm a homeschool nerd.
mm-hmm.
And
Elven?
for whatever reason, huh?
Did you learn Elven?
Oh, that would have been fun. Actually, spot on. Good play.
Yeah.
I learned Russian.
That's awesome.
Not sure why that was the one that my parents thought I should spend time on. I did spend some time in Russia, so that was kind of cool when I was a teenager. But yeah, odd language. Doesn't cross over as well. I mean, a lot of those languages. I mean, Germanic stuff just doesn't. It's fine, but like we are working with a lot of people from Czech, and so there's some crossover there. If you tell them this, they're very offended by it. Like, no, we're our own Slavic. We don't use. Yeah, got it. But it sounds to my ear similar.
Yeah.
You know.
It's pretty cool. Can you say anything in Russian?
Меня зовут Chris. My name is Chris.
Whoa. I think we heard it here first. You may be a spy.
For Wingfeather Saga.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, I have a couple questions that I'm curious if you know. What employee number are you?
Okay. I think I'm like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
If you count contract. So if you're counting freelance, way later.
I'm saying people that are full-time with us yeah.
Oh, okay, full-time.
Yeah.
Because I started contract work to start at Wingfeather.
Yeah.
I just did contract work. I did characters. I got handed a sculpt every week.
And when did you join?
October 21, I think. Is that when Daniel got hired?
Yep.
We got hired in the same week.
Yeah, because you were still
student.
Finished in yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, and then I got hired the summer after. So full-time.
Were you a senior then when you started with us?
It was the summer after my junior year, so I hadn't done any senior year yet.
Wow. In those days. So I think it's important for some of you. This was the early parts of the Wingfeather Saga animated series was out of the bonus room. So you were part of the bonus room crew.
It was awesome.
So the bonus room here in Tennessee, we don't do basements because we have so much rock. And so instead, they build out another room over garages, and they call it the bonus room. That's weird. And we started in the bonus room with all of you fine people. So we had about 6 to 8 people that would come in every day, good morning, and head upstairs, and we get to work. And we had our annex, we called it.
Yeah.
In the garage. One half of the garage, we put tables and chairs and stuff, And I mean, it's literally folding tables, and we're making an animated TV series. It was so good.
Yeah, it was awesome. I miss those days a little bit because it was nice having such a small crew.
Yeah.
But I feel like we're just as packing everyone in these days too. Just trying to make sure everyone's in the same room, collaborative.
Try to figure out how to work together the best. A lot of our crew's remote because of the 60 or so of us. We only have about a dozen here in Nashville. But
yeah, I do miss the VeggieTales rug that was in the center of your bonus room,
and the cats.
Oh, so good. We could get a cat for the
studio
office.
Studio cat, yeah, it'd be fun.
If we had a studio cat, what would you name him that would be Wingfeather themed?
Ooh, that's a good question. Yeah. You probably have to name it after one of the,
fangs
creatures, Yeah, or take a fang character name.
Yeah.
like one of those season 1 fangs who were so, infamous. That was tough. Season 1 fangs are probably one of the saddest things for me because they all died. Yeah. They were real characters. I worked really hard on their character designs, character motivations, casting them, voicing them. We worked really hard on all those guys, and then similarly just killed them off.
Yeah, it was really sad. What was the big one's name? That was it was a B, right?
Yeah, Brack.
Brack.
I was thinking crack, and it's Brack.
It's Brack.
Yeah,
I miss that guy.
He was such a good character.
He was good.
Yeah.
Don't really miss Slarp.
No.
I'm okay.
He was hard to deal with too. A lot of reasons. Great actor. Who's gone on? All right. So tell us about maybe a highlight. So you've been here now 4 years, kind of working through this series. What's a highlight, a key moment for you that was like, man, this was incredible?
Yeah. Well, you definitely got us back on the nostalgia train of the olden days, right?
Yeah.
And I definitely have a vivid memory of back during season 1. I think we were trying to finish up the end of episode 1,
Mm.
assembly, right, which took forever.
So hard.
The first episode assembly took probably just as long as all the other episodes from that season combined, assembly-wise time.
Assembly being where the final image comes together, we render everything, putting it together to see it on screen at the very end.
Yeah. But we were figuring stuff out too. So there was a lot of process we had to learn along the way. And then when we learned it, we could finally start running with it. But we took over Northwind Manor at some point.
That's right.
Which was super cool because not only is it just a giant room, it's also super cool. There's just awesome stuff to look at all the time up there. And I think we took the whole week and we flew Keith in, John Mark was there. We just had a bunch of the crew that we hadn't seen in person really at that point yet in person. I think it was mostly Zoom for everyone. And so we just went to Northwind. We hung out, I think it was a full week or 3 days, something like that. It was multiple days to just, we're driving to Northwind. It's awesome. The drive's excellent and beautiful through the trees.
Yeah.
And then we all get to be there and we get to hang out with all these fun people that there's like a bit of an excuse to talk to them because we haven't seen them in person. So it's also like a bit like more social than we were in the media room, bonus room. And I just remember that whole week being such a wonderful experience. Andrew Peterson came one day to hang out, to talk. You know, we're making a show. Let's look at it right now in its phase. Review. I think you guys were doing a bunch of reviews for it. And we sat on the porch. We had Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
And we got to hang out just together, which we get to do now as well. But I think that was the first time that it was really, okay, this is like pretty much the core of our team now together in Little Tennessee. It was awesome.
So remarkable too is 4 years later to have most of the same people still cranking. And there's all this history, right, of knowing, we tried that, it broke real badly, so we're not doing that way anymore, right? Because we were solving and making a brand new pipeline and a brand new series with a visual look that was different than other things. It was just so much, everything was so new, and discovering those for the first time, and those when we'd get it right, and the images would come across, the finals that were like amazing. We all had that euphoria together, right?
Yeah.
You know, just like, we're making it. It's actually happening, you know. So good.
Yeah.
All the OG season 1 world, then season 2, moving forward in the Fort Factory. Now we're into season 3. If sometimes outside of our office, we'll have fans waiting for us, and it's kind of weird, you know, it's a little alarming. But if a fan walked up to you and said, okay, what are you excited about for season 3? What do you think? All of season 3 is a lot going on.
There's so much going on.
What in season 3 would you say, oh man, this you're most excited about?
This is such a hard question. I definitely love Chimera. So cool.
Okay, I love that you said Chimera, because if Andrew, he would say, no, it's Chimera. K-U-H. We know. I've said Chimera a lot, and I got told by Andrew, you're doing it wrong. I'm like, well, you spelled it wrong.
Yeah, you did. So how do I need to say it?
You say it the way you want to say it.
Okay.
I'm not going to stop you. I'm just telling you, if Andrew was sitting here, he would say it's different. But so Chimera in your world, Chimera for everybody else.
Chimera, definitely very cool characters. This was the season I got to like model and touch most of the main cast, right? And so previous seasons I was doing a lot of background characters, a lot of Fork Factory kids. And so this is the season where I was like, oh, costuming, like winter clothes, coats. The main characters in Chimera, we got the Chiefess, we got Errol, Brogman, those guys I got to work on. So it's cool getting to see them because they're super cool. It's cool to see characters you made get animated. But also I think the vibe's super cool. I was there also for a lot of the process, right? And so I wasn't in a lot of the environmental meetings before that point. And so I get to see like, okay, these are the concepts. Now we're moving to like our proxy model, and then we get our background paintings. So I already know a lot about like what Chimera should look like, but I also haven't seen all of the final footage for Chimera yet. So it's going to be good.
Yeah, we're about to have an all crew of episode 4.
Yeah.
In a day or two, and can't wait for you guys to see that, because seeing it all come together in that context. It's one of the things I love about Wingfeather is season 1, it was all about the Torborons visiting for Dragon Day and all those designs. And then season 2, we have Stranders and Dugtowners, right? Now season 3, Chimerans, and in season 4, a lot of Banronans. And it's fun thinking about it. Actually has very similar Avatar Airbender vibes, right?
Yeah.
Where you're visiting these different nations and tribes and whatnot, and getting to really dig in and think about how would they live, what would they look like. You know?
Yeah. What about season 5? You named all the way up to 4.
Yeah, well, it's undefined who we're going to... Season 5 starts to recap places we've been while introducing a couple new people. But really, season 4 sets us up for... We joked about this, but it sets us up for the end game. Because season 5 is kind of end game to the end of season 7. Yeah, and we'll save a few characters to introduce later, you know. But largely it's going to be bringing up ones we've already built.
It's going to be awesome. Do you have a favorite faction? Are they factions?
So they're clans, they're different. The different clan chiefs. I don't have them yet. It's interesting. They're a little bit ambiguous for me because we reference them quite a bit in season 4. Season 5, which we're working on right now, is way more detailed on those characters, and so it's this clan leader for Ban Hin is going to be doing this and behaving this way. Right now, we've only got a couple that are pulled forward in S4 that have any... We have so many characters. You have to some have to just stay in background a little bit.
I think you should pick Caden.
Caden?
Not that I modeled anything or anything.
Oh, I see. So, yeah, biasing here.
Yeah, I'm not biased or anything.
Okay.
She's not super cool or anything like that. So
yeah, Caden is pretty good. Graven, I love him. Massive beard. He's huge. Yep. He does have a key thing coming up in season 5.
How many kittens do you think he's stashed in that beard?
That's what's in there. Kittens.
What else would you put in there? It's huge. It's like all the way down to his knees, basically.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Is there any part of your role in being a part of the production and just kind of the factor that is CG animation, because I talk about this a lot with outside folks, that like it's similar to an automotive factory if you were to go through it, where all these parts, it starts with raw steel and then out goes a car right at the end of it. Like it's very similar here, and all the little pieces kind of don't make sense to people sometimes, but when you see it all kind of flowing, sometimes it does. Is there a part of the process here in all the work that's happening, not even yours but others, that you think doesn't get enough attention, that you'd say, oh man, I wish people knew more about this because it really is special?
Do I have to pick one?
Okay, couple.
That's the question. Okay. I think the biggest thing that doesn't get highlighted enough because they don't get praised enough is just production staff. They are the backbone to our entire project. Without them, we will be chaos. We will be artists, just going off making stuff without any organization. We sort of need the grounded support there.
And production staff, meaning the coordinators and management side?
Yeah. All the spreadsheets.
Yeah, exactly. It's very intricate, and to keep all the trains in a row. When we are most successful, this happens and this happens, and it sequences out really well. When things get bad, it's because we overlap and kind of cluster, and then it's like a ton of work that got all tangled up. And 100%, you're right. I think in the early days, it's one thing to look back on those times fondly, and also to go, we had no production management.
Yeah, we needed organization.
It was chaotic. It was largely Keith and myself saying, do this first, then that first, and oh, shoot, that didn't line up right, and now we're stepping on each other. And we certainly have got a much better rhythm. And those coordinators and management, I agree, key to any big project like this.
Yeah. And then I'd have to say my second one, which, again, I'm not biased or anything, but I think tech is so interesting, especially for our show, because we're not doing things... We can't do things the way that other studios are doing because we don't have the time. Like we can't spend 2 years figuring out how to do fur for some, furry creature or anything. We got to get it done. And so I think all of our tech solutions are really interesting because we're taking, again, like the crafting, we're taking knowledge that we have in other areas, and then we're going to try to apply that as the solution for whatever thing we need. So for example, bringing back the feathers for all our creatures that are in season 3. A lot of work trying to figure out how to get those to work because you can't spend hours and hours placing every single feather and then trying to get those wings to fold up too. Nightmare. And so we had to work with, okay, we can like procedurally place these feathers. Let's go that route. And we don't do a ton of procedural stuff for fur or anything, just because we don't have time for it. But we can get wing systems to work, because once you build one wing, you can build more wings. And so we spent a little time figuring that out. And that was just Blender and like a little bit of like geometry node programming. And just skills that aren't necessarily a day-to-day thing that we need to use, but then because we have that knowledge, we can make that stuff happen. And the same thing for a lot of our Unreal side tech, where we have Laha working all the time on tech things, whether it's his ocean or building trees,
Or snow.
Like all of the technical solutions are so, I don't want to say handyman-ish, but they are, where it's like, this is a very simple solution, but we're going to apply it in the wrong area to get the outcome that we want. Right. And so I think all of the stuff that we're doing in that realm is fun, and a lot of broken rules for sure.
So one thing I love about animation, CG animation in particular, is because when people think about art, whether that's music or paintings or other things like this, they think of kind of I'm not artistic, right? That phrase. What I love in CG is that there's people like you who have a strong math understanding and think technically about things and make art.
Yeah.
Whether that's some delicious cookies or it's an amazing character that you've sculpted and rigged and topoed. It's artistic.
Yeah.
It's using. I mean, honestly, a good baker is someone who's quite technical.
Yeah.
Getting the measurements right and the bake right is what makes it work. And you can be an artist and actually be terrible at it, right? Because you're not scientific. CG animation is one of those incredible areas in which people with a lot of technical knowledge, and in fact, people who work in industry often have patents and are really, really smart people, are making art. And it's the coolest thing, because I think in prior generations, maybe you would have felt precluded from, well, you're not an artist, you don't paint in the way that I paint or whatever. And instead it's no, these mathematical, artistic, technical skills all combine to make art.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm curious in this one, what was the thing that caught your attention for animation? As you were a young person looking at your upbringing, what was the thing that caught your attention and said, oh, I want to be in that?
Yeah. So originally it was, I wanted to go into animation because I was already sort of the art kid, which I think is everyone's story if you're going into art, right? But I also always had a love for math and science. And so when I was looking at colleges, I was like, well, animation's a little bit of math and science because you're using the computer. There's weird technical stuff that comes about with that. And then I also just loved art. And so that animation was sort of the pathway to get into there. But I was always in love with cinematics and like really cool storytelling. But I didn't necessarily want to be the animator, because that feels a little bit too meticulous for me to like, okay, pose it all out and get it all working. But I loved prepping things for the animators. That's what I discovered in college. Was I loved making, whether it was like 2D rigs, whether it was actually doing a little bit of like spreadsheet stuff, making sure that everyone's on track. I loved like a lot of the behind the scenes of, all right, we got to build the tools for other people to succeed at what they want to make, right? Sure. And so I think that's when I sort of fell in love with CG modeling, where you can make the characters that other people get to bring to life. I don't need to bring it to life. I want to see someone else do a really good job doing that, but I love making it for them, or I love making tools to make that process faster. So I've been doing a lot of programming this year, I think, to make sure that our pipeline gets faster. So we're like, okay, all this meticulous stuff that we don't need to spend so much time on, like, let's get through that fast, because we want to spend more time making art and less time just clicking buttons.
Was there an animated series or movie that was your favorite?
In recent years, I still think that Arcane's awesome, like many people, just because it has the art, right? The handcraftiness.
We disagree on this subject around the office a lot. I thought it was fine.
It was
visually incredible, but
I think the visuals are what sort of.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, love the visuals.
Also, it was very wasteful. That thing is crazy expensive, and I know what happened behind the scenes, and it's just so sloppy. We're such an efficient team here that Arcane offends me because if it's
valid.
They greenlit season 2 with no scripts and like floundered about trying to make that show, and I'm like, oh, if they were more disciplined, what could they have achieved more? Or maybe it would have cost them less. I don't know. Either way, but
yeah. But pure Arcane, I have a bit of a hot take, which is DuckTales 2017.
Wow. Okay.
which is
It's very specific.
awesome.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
so
I
cool.
didn't see that version of it. I was an OG DuckTales guy.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah.
Still good.
Yeah.
But I think there's something about just, again, characters, very good arcs, like really taking care to make sure that there's uniqueness about each of the twin or triplets, sorry, not twins, horrible, triplets. And the animation's so good. Just that project, you can see that everyone a part of it wanted to work on it,
Sure.
and they were just putting their heart into everything.
Yeah.
Which, again, Arcane, awesome. Looks great. A lot of people put their heart into that.
Sure.
DuckTales, awesome. So many people put their heart into that too.
I love that when you find a project that like kind of surprises you, that people were clearly very committed to it. Because we feel the opposite end too, where this was just made because it needed to be made, and there's no heart in it, right? Which I think is, as you know, my big love of K-pop Demon Hunters is because clearly someone cared a lot about this and poured themselves into it, which is a lot of what we're doing with Wingfeather. Is all of us are really, we care about the story, we care about what we're making, and just trying to give it the best chance to go live and have a wonderful life in families' homes, you know?
Yeah.
It's great. Well, thank you.
Yes, thank you for
taking some
having
time
me.
to chat for a little bit here and sharing with our fans. Thank you all for tuning in. This has been a really delightful conversation around some technical parts of how we do this with Ellie. And thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, thanks for joining me today and my special guest. To watch the series, of course, check out wingfeathersaga.com and follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook at Wingfeather Saga. Make sure to check out the program wherever you get your podcasts. We'll see you next time. Thanks for listening. This has been a Shining Isle production produced by Jaron Weatherly, edited by Davis Coggan, executive produced by myself, Brock Starnes, and Andrew Peterson.